LLM session with a specific prompt and then figures out if it succeeded, and if it didn't, then it keeps trying until it does. And then when it does succeed, it exits the loop. And before exiting, it does a few key things. It updates or appends certain files. So the key files involved here are this is not totally descriptive here, but let me get here. This will help a bit. We've got PRD.json. I think we're familiar. I'm going to start to show some stuff here with what is a PRD or a spec, which is a document that clearly lays out like what needs to be done in great detail and at great length. I'm working on this software I've open sourced that takes an image and creates an editable Google Slides presentation from it. And I want to create a front end so that we can run it out as a SaaS website. And so I'm going to use that as a toy project to try a lot of different agent harnesses and models and compare them. I think it's going to be an interesting, meaty enough, but well-defined enough project that I can repeat and evaluate. And it serves our purposes here too, where you've got some specification, we've got the background, you've got goals and non-goals, you've got some constraints. I created a file that has principles that then guide the creation of this file. Single responsibility principle, separation of concerns, keeping it simple, not repeating yourself. People are saying this is less important because things are easier to refactor, but then you still have to chase down many places to refactor. It still can create errors. So I still think it's relevant. Loose coupling and high cohesion. So based on these principles, then we look at some assumptions and decisions for the technical implementation and the architecture, system overview, components and their responsibilities, data model, API specification, a different engine, and execution model for workers, observability, the front-end specification, security requirements, local development, milestones, acceptance checks, acceptance criteria. So I'm pretty happy with this spec. It's very detailed, and I've just thrown it in factory, I think is what I used at that point, although I don't remember. I'm playing with various agent harnesses right now, comparing, and I've got a bunch of different branches here. So far, I've tried it with GLM 4.7, GPT 5.2. Originally, I tried this, fake LLM that was announced, and this thing was a hoax. Max 2.1, Opus 4.5, and now I'm going to try it with Ralph.
Okay, so for each of these harnesses, what you're doing is you're handing it your PRD spec and your principles, and you're saying, so for the harnesses, it's more of a, however they compact their context, whatever they do. Or you can just tell Ralph to keep going. And Ralph does Ralph call Claude Code, or does Ralph call another agent, or what does Ralph call?
Yeah. So that's why there's various implementations of Ralph for Claude Code, or for Open Code, or for Factory Droid, and we can whip one up for Open Hands. This is very portable because it's essentially just a bash script and a prompt and kind of a spec of how to do the spec, a meta spec. And
I have an example of Ralph. I mean, I pulled one up on GitHub. Did you like that clip? Well, check out the full episode. Leonardo and I put Prose through its paces. We check out Ralph Wiggum and the Ralph Loop, all sorts of great discussion related to AI coding, different models, different agents, different harnesses. Check out, the link is in the description. Also, please join our Discord community. We've got great content, great discussions, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already.